That is a Cake song. Cake not at Bottle Rock, unfortunately. Oh, wait. No, Cake is at Bottle Rock. Can you believe it? Welcome to everybody. I guess I should turn on everybody's mics. This is Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton with Influence Internet. And I am quite pleased to be here with my co-hosts for the day, Dina Villarreal, Darren Petrie from Mechanics Bank.
Good morning.
Got your name right this time, Darren.
That's right, Chris.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us on again.
You guys are welcome. Thank you for what you're doing. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys are doing, which is...
Well, this year we've got the 7th annual Napa Community Awards again. We get to be part of that and just honoring the unsung heroes of the Valley and the surrounding areas. And it's just a great luncheon that it's coming together here at the end of the month, and we can get into all that information a little bit later. But
May 30th.
Yeah. Oh,
May 30th.
Yes. Gosh, I can't believe how
3 weeks away.
So, yeah. Darren, you have a little bit more you want to share with us about that?
Talk about the process, because Darren's like, Dina, what are you saying?
Yeah, what are you talking
Don't put
about?
me on the spot like
Nothing
that.
like that.
No, actually.
I don't have my cheat sheet with all the dates sometimes.
Well, May 30th is the actual luncheon and celebration. So this year we have an extraordinary number of honorees, and we also actually have 2 students this year, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, very exciting. We're at a tie.
That is right, and we're about to introduce that one of those students in just a minute. But before that, let's talk about the process so people know kind of about probably, was it March or so, February, March, that nominations went out. People could nominate.
Right. So there is a call for nominations that goes out. There's a website that is set up. There are posters that are and flyers distributed around the Napa Valley, not just here in Napa, but from American Canyon up to Calistoga. And we have people submit for different categories, nominations, and then later, after we have the deadline for the nominations, then that's when the team gets together, both from Mechanics Bank and from the Napa Valley Chamber or Napa Chamber Foundation,
right.
And we actually try diligently to come up with the winners, which is not an easy task.
And that's the part that I was specifically referring to. I mean, I don't know what the number is, but I imagine you have 50 or 60 different nominations
in the different categories. Yes, there have been as many up to I think 60 in the past, if not more, depending on some years. And you read all of those applications. Yes. You go through every single one, and you take each one to heart, because each one of those people that has been nominated has their own unique story about what makes them unique and special and a hero to whoever submitted that application.
Absolutely.
So it's really draws at your heartstrings, to say the least. Oh
yeah, every one of them is a winner. So
yes,
it's hard to. How do you just pick one out from that? But.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not on that committee. But the other side of it is, it would be really cool if people could see at some level just how much is going on in this valley that you get to see, and out of that you have to pick one or 5 or 6 winners, or maybe a few more. But the bottom line is, so much going on in this valley.
Yeah, there's just so many, as we've always talked about, the community support that goes into the valley of this size for the population. We are so fortunate to have that.
Yeah, I'm convinced that it's the hills that kind of box us in.
That's right.
Keep us together. But and the other thing that I think is just so wonderful about the valley is just when we do these awards and get to interview all these people that are nominees or winners, it's so clear that there's such cooperation in the valley across different sectors of the valley, different, health and human services, the nonprofits that help, people in tough times, that sort of thing. It just, everybody seems to work together better. And I talked to Mike Parness, city manager, and he's like, "Oh, you guys have no idea how great this is compared to some of the places I've been." Or Craig Smith last week said, "Oh, you have no idea what cooperation we have." And I think that's what really marks this whole thing, and really the kind of the one time a year we really get to pay some careful attention to that.
That's right.
So this morning we have are one of our winners, because there were 2 winners of the Napa Valley College Student of the Year, who we're going to about to introduce. We also have a nominee for the Nonprofit of the Year. Now, one of the things that people need to be aware of is we're not telling you who the nonprofit is.
That's right.
How's that work?
Well, we have a list of all the nominations for the Nonprofit of the Year, and we've tried to showcase each one of those. But the actual winner is not announced until the day of the event, which again would be May 30th.
That's May 30th at the Napa Valley Marriott Hotel and Spa, the community celebration.
Yes.
It's a great name for it. So anyway, we are gonna interview one of those nominees, and then and today, and we will not. Chris cannot talk today.
Not enough coffee.
Not enough coffee. We will be interviewing other of those nonprofit nominees.
Correct.
And
Right.
today we're also going to run a pre-record that I got to do with Sarah Brooks last week, who was unable to be live. And she is winner of the Hospitality and Tourism Employee of the Year. And now, because it's such a great segue, we have one of the Napa Valley College Students of the Year award winners, Leela Carmel Norris. Welcome.
Thank you.
And the reason that it's such a good segue is that you're in what program at the college?
I am in the Hospitality and Tourism Management Associates program.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you were just an ambassador to I just read something about you were an ambassador to the
I did work the Hospitality Symposium over in St. Helena about a month ago.
Oh,
How
you
was
did?
that? Yeah, how did that go?
It was great. We actually, as a class, a few of us went over there to volunteer, just help set up, make sure everything was running smoothly, making sure everyone was getting to their workshops on time. And because we volunteered, we were able to sit into these workshops and listen to the speakers coming from all over the valley and talking about what they're doing and where they hope to go and the vision for Napa. It was really cool.
Were you hospitable during the whole entire
Very
time?
hospitable, yes. I held the doors.
How'd you decide to go into the hospitality program?
Well, I just moved here recently. I'm new to Napa, came in January of this year. And before that, I was kind of tapping into the culinary world. And I've always loved cooking. I've always loved event planning, anything hospitality related, really. So eventually I decided I wanted to kind of shift gears and tap into the managerial and business side of the industry. And one thing led to another, and I ended up coming to Napa. And the college has a wonderful program that I began basically 48 hours after I moved here.
Oh,
No
wow.
kidding.
I've been
Wow.
enjoying it ever since, yeah.
Well, talk a little bit about the program for those that are unaware of it or haven't, spent any time. Talk about what you're learning, because to me, hospitality. I have a catering background for corporate catering 20 some odd years ago, and my wife comes out of that, and what we find is it totally changes your perspective about when you go into a restaurant, that sort of thing. But talk about what you're learning there and kind of what got you excited about it.
Sure. Well, it's a pretty broad field. There's so much that you can do within the hospitality industry. It's the fastest growing industry in the whole world.
Is it really?
Yeah, it employs like millions of people, and it's ever growing. So, it encompasses everything from tourism to catering to all different levels of management. We learn a lot about just what it takes to start a business and then to continue running and operating your business in order for it to be a success, and just everything that goes into that. Most people end up opening a small business and it fails within the first 1 or 2 years.
Yep.
So what we're learning is what it takes to build a business that's really going to last, and bring in the customers and the income that is going to allow you to live off of it and really enjoy it for years.
It's fascinating. You were talking about just the breadth of the type of things that covers, but also then there's the breadth of the type of place that you work at. It can be a B&B or it can be, a Marriott that's worldwide, right?
Right.
And what a great place. are there any internship opportunities in the Napa Valley?
That's a great question. Yeah, it makes you wonder.
There better be. I'm
You
going to be
think,
mad.
we are.
There definitely are, yeah. I personally am not an intern at the moment, but I am working in the tourism, industry. I just got a job at a hot air ballooning company in
Oh, you
Yountville.
did?
Yeah,
fun.
called Napa Valley Aloft, and it's really fun. I'm a hospitality coordinator, so I'm kind of just overseeing that everything's going smoothly, everyone's getting on their hot air balloons safely, everyone's coming back alive.
That is important.
That is, especially going up in a balloon to come back.
Yeah,
in case, I agree.
yeah. It's just a lot of fun. You meet a lot of people traveling from all over the state, the country, the world, and you get to be a part of something really unique and exciting. So, and that's something that you can kind of find like all over, the hospitality industry.
I don't know. What do you think? Is she going to be any good at it, you guys?
I think she might have a good chance.
Look at that smile.
Yeah, she seems to look like she really enjoys what she's learning. You're
Yeah.
lucky you found your passion. You'll be able to make it your career. It's so
you.
important.
We're here with Leila Carmel Norris from the Napa Valley College and winner of the Napa Valley College Student of the Year for the Napa Chamber Foundation Community Awards. And we're going to take a break. I'm here also with Darren Petrie from Mechanics Bank, as well as Dina Villarreal from Mechanics Bank. And man, what a community we live in, huh?
You said it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love this part of the year. This is Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. We're going to take a break starting with Cake, who is playing at Bottle Rock. Stay with us. And we're back with Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton with Influence Internet. I'm here with Darren Petrie and Dina Villarreal of Mechanics Bank,
Hi, Chris.
two of the big supporters of the Napa Valley Community Awards. It's such a cool thing.
It is.
We are also here with Leila. I'm working on it. Leila Carmel Norris from the Napa Valley College and winner of Napa Valley College Student of the Year, one of two. So, hospitality, definitely into it. Where were you last? Where did you just come from, I heard? From South Africa?
I have spent time in South Africa. First of all, I grew
You've
up
had some
traveling.
travels,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
I grew up traveling. I had awesome parents have awesome parents that instilled in me just like a big curiosity to learn about new places and new cultures, and just kind of, collect all of the information I can in order to figure out where I fit in the world and, what I want to do. So the first time I traveled to South Africa in particular was in 2007. And I somehow ended up in a little bed and breakfast in a small town in the Western Cape. And
Talk
it was
about
not
far
my
away from
plan.
home.
Yeah, almost the furthest away from home you could get. And ended up working there for free room and board for a few months until I came back home. And I loved it. It gave me a chance to meet people coming from all over the world, and also give me a small taste of what it takes to run a business like that.
What was it that you just like, this is so cool?
Well, I mean, like I said, I am a creative person. I like to express myself through creativity. I've always loved event planning.
Oh, that's not a very good
hosting people.
idea. Nobody's told you that yet? Creativity, yeah. Anyway.
And I guess just the idea of a bed and breakfast seemed really cool because it brought in all of those elements that I love so much. Hosting people, setting things up, interior design, exterior design, cooking,
All of
'cause
it.
you have to have breakfast with a bed and breakfast. So it wasn't until recently that I seriously started thinking about opening up my own in the future. But after that, it did kind of lead me down the road of hospitality, culinary, and now business.
It's all about delivering a great experience to your customer, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would think so, yeah. And I think by coming to the Napa Valley, you've really been able to hone those skills, I'm sure, in the
Yes.
college and really see, because the Valley's known for its hospitality worldwide. So
Now we're okay in it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a big melting pot of all of my interests, as well as, great place for people in these industries.
Is that why you chose the Valley to come and get your education?
I chose it for a few reasons, that being one of them. My dad actually moved here about 1.5 years ago, and I knew that I wanted to be close to one of my parents because I'll be getting married soon.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And I guess just Napa made sense. The more I thought about it, the more I looked into the college, the more I looked into what is out here. It just made so much sense. And now that I'm here, I'm thinking, what took so long? This is totally where I belong.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah.
I finally find it.
Layla Carmel Norris, outstanding college student, Napa Valley College Student of the Year for the Napa Valley Community Awards. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. We are looking forward to seeing you on May 30th at the Napa Valley Marriott Hotel and Spa for the community celebration, where you'll be honored along with Nicholas I can't even say it. Nicholas, who will be in soon. Nick.
He goes by Nick, according to his
email said Nicholas. He was going to be here this morning, was not feeling well, and wrote a beautiful note. Apologetic. It was very cool. Kids these days, they still rock. That's what I say.
They do.
Thank you so much for being here. We're going to take a break. This is Today in the Napa Valley. I'm here with Darren Petrie and Dina Villarreal from Mechanics Bank, two of the people that are involved with sponsoring the Napa Valley Community Awards. We'll be back after this. Stay with us. And we are back with Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton, and I'm here with Dina Villarreal, Darren Petrie from Mechanics Bank. Mechanics Bank, a huge sponsor of the Napa Valley Community Awards.
We feel very fortunate to be a part of it. It's like we've talked about earlier, it's the 7th annual. My gosh.
I know. 7 years now.
Yes, I can't believe it.
So one of the cool things that we get to do, we do not announce the winner of the Nonprofit of the Year, but what we do is we interview the finalists. And so we are really lucky to introduce Mike and Sonnen Kurson, father and daughter of Vine Village. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
I was out at Napa Valley PSI yesterday, which is another unknown or not well-known facility that helps people with developmental disabilities. Talk a little bit about what Vine Village does.
Well, I have a sister who lives at Vine Village. We started Vine Village this is our 40th anniversary.
40th anniversary.
Congratulations. Yes.
We warned Sonnen, don't get involved in this. You don't want this. So, but anyhow, the two families who had developmentally disabled adults in their family put a down payment on the ranch, set up the nonprofit organization in 1972, opened our doors in 73, and we have a residence and we have a day program. So people from Napa come to Vine Village, and a lot of the residents who live at Vine Village go out every day to programs in town and different programs that are appropriate.
This is one of my soapbox issues.
Yeah.
Talk about since 1972 to 2013, the difference you see in how developmentally disabled people are more mainstream. I mean, in 72, you weren't sending people out to jobs very often, were you?
That was kind of the dark ages for sure.
Man, isn't
things
that true?
have changed.
We were too busy disco dancing.
Yes.
I
Maybe
wasn't.
you were.
But, yeah. but anyhow, and especially Napa County and Napa community is very, very supportive. So there are lots of different activities for the residents and so on. Sonnen can talk about it also.
Sure. So, well, I can't say that I was born in 1972, but I know that at that time there was some resistance from some of the neighbors when Vine Village was applying for a use permit and that sort of thing. And I would hope that sort of thing wouldn't happen now. The people who we serve are much more visible in our community. There are so many programs, as my father mentioned, and that really, really helps. There's a lot more awareness.
Now, you were a little tyke when this all got started, weren't you?
Yeah, I was born in 74, so Vine Village is a year older than me, but I pretty much grew up there. Yeah.
Now you're the associate director?
I am,
also,
yes.
with your father being the executive director.
Yes.
So this is really a family
It is.
business.
And my mom, who's listening from the office right now, is also very involved and has been from the beginning. She's kind of the brains behind all of us.
Third generation.
That's great.
Tell me that this is not some of the most fulfilling work there is.
It is. It really, really is. It's
She says
really,
with a great big smile on her face.
Yeah.
Both.
It's really hard. It's a lot of responsibility. My dad jokes about trying to talk me out of doing this work just because of the amount of responsibility that it is. But
Talk a little
we
bit
love
about
it.
that.
Well, we're responsible for 19 residents for their entire lives. I mean, they have family and friends as well, but we're responsible for everything from making sure that their medical and dental needs are taken care of, making sure that they're, have access to healthy food and nutritional information, to exercise, to making sure that they have connections with their family, helping them shop for gifts for every birthday of the family. I mean, there are just so many things, and vacations. I mean, everything that they do. We're responsible for helping them, and that's a 24-hour-a-day job every day of the year.
Yeah.
Sonnen was in Washington, D.C. last week.
Oh,
and,
really?
You ought to talk about that. And one of the things that came up is we have had employees there for 20 and 30 years. There are 7 of us who've been there for over 30 years, and that's unheard of in this kind of business. It's, we in particular are on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And these employees, the people, it's like family. They're treated well. But why don't you talk about one of the things that you were, it had to do with a letter that Mike Thompson wrote, and he mentioned Vine Village, and we were invited back to Washington, D.C. to present Vine Village as a model program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last week I was fortunate enough to speak about Vine Village at a conference that was put together by a foundation back in Maryland, and all of this came about due to a letter that Congressman Mike Thompson wrote using Vine Village as an example of a community for people with developmental disabilities that's been in existence for 40 years right here in Napa. And this foundation back in Maryland, the Madison House Autism Foundation, got a copy of this letter and invited us to speak. They actually sent an employee out to see Vine Village last month and then invited us. And, we're so lucky to have the support of on the political front in this area. We really appreciate that letter that Mike Thompson wrote. And what it was about was the possibility of a redefinition of the word community that Medicare and Medicaid was considering doing, and it would affect funding for our program and for others like it. It's really important that he's taking a leadership stand on this.
Talk a little bit about what that means specifically.
Well, there are different types of programs for people with disabilities. Some are like our program. There actually are very few like our programs. We're fairly unique, but we're, situated in the country, and there are several homes on the property and that sort of thing. Other programs are in town where people live in apartments, and staff come and help them at different times with the things that they need. And so our program is fairly unique.
I think it's so critical, but talk a little bit about what sets you apart from other programs, because I think one side of this is we have this picture of the institutionalized program, which is scary.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And talk about how you guys compare to something like that.
Sure. Well, everything about Vine Village, from the first idea that my grandparents and this other family had about what they wanted for their children to everything we do today, has had that in mind, that we don't want it to be an institution. It is not an institution. It's home. And so every decision we make and every decision that the people who live there make are with the intention in mind of living with as much independence as possible and with the most choices as possible, and then also having the supervision and guidance that they need in order to be safe and make good choices and be healthy. But everyone decorates their own rooms the way they want. They can paint whatever color they want. They can have all of their own pictures, artwork, everything that they want, just as they would in their, in their own home, in their family's home, and that sort of thing. So we make choices every day to make sure that this is long-term home and feels good and is in no way an institution.
You were going to say something.
And also having access to the community and all that is in the community. The other thing we want to mention, this is our 40th year, and we're having our annual celebration on August 4th, and there's going to be an auction. It's a day in the country, and there's going to be...
No, it's a day on the farm.
Why don't you tell about it? You're right. Yeah, okay. Last year was day on the country. Yeah, thank
Still
you.
Still sounds like a
But I was close,
event.
yeah. But anyhow, it's we're going to have wagon rides, and there's going to be a sit-down dinner, live and silent auction, and a time just to take a tour of Vine Village. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like a great plan.
We have a couple of minutes, but I want to wrap up with this. I am convinced that as a society, we are a far better place with developmentally disabled adults mainstreamed. You said you send people out to jobs every day.
Right.
Don't you find that there's just I mean, I think it's important for these people, but I think it's just as important for, and I'd use it with quote unquote, people who don't have that type of disability. It makes for a richer life. Don't you find that that's...
Yes.
Yes, we absolutely agree with you, and that was put very nicely. Thank you. Yes, we definitely agree, and it's so important. Just as with any other civil rights issues that we talk about very openly in our country, people with disabilities have suffered from discrimination for years.
Yes.
And so just having that visibility in the community and having so many wonderful programs, Napa is amazing, truly. There are so many good programs for people with disabilities here. It's really inspiring. And I think we're really lucky that, yes, there are so many opportunities for people here, and it does enrich all of our lives.
Absolutely. So, Vine Village, Sonnen Kurson and Mike Kurson, thank you so much for what you do to enrich the lives of these people and everybody else's. And I know, you guys have been smiling the whole way through about what you do. It's clear that you love it, and it just makes all the difference in the world. It doesn't matter whether it's an institutionalized program or a program out on the farm. If the people that are running it don't love it, it doesn't matter, does it?
That's true.
Little love goes a long way. Hey, this is Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber edition. We need to take a break. Thanks so much to Mike and Sonnen Kurson from Vine Village. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back after this. Stay with us. And we're back with Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber edition. Last week, I had the opportunity to interview the outstanding hospitality and tourism professional of the year, Sarah Brooks. Here's that interview. I have the privilege of being here with Sarah Brooks from the Napa River Inn, the general manager of the Napa River Inn, and the winner of the Napa Valley Community Awards Hospitality and Tourism Professional Award. This individual or group gives above and beyond what is required in their profession and inspires others to promote the virtues of the Napa Valley as a premier visitor destination. And I will tell you that we have got one of the big hitters in town. And I know that's, you're like, I don't want to hear that, but you really are. I mean, you are doing a tremendous amount. I'm just going to read you. Well, first of all, hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a little embarrassing.
Yeah, we deal with that with every one of these award winners, and it's common. There's that kind of feeling of, I'm just doing what I do, right?
Yeah. I'm not curing cancer or saving starving puppies. I think Craig's going to said that one.
Saving starving puppies. Oh, well, I'm not doing any of those either. But you know what? it's important because you are making a difference in what's going on downtown, what's going on in Napa, and it's really important to a lot of people, whether I think they recognize it or not, don't you? I mean, seeing the downtown come back, that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, we're there. We've been struggling to get to this point for years, and watching downtown kind of redevelop, and there's a there now. It maybe everything's not done, and there's still some things like the town center that are still under development, but our downtown is hopping, and it's exciting, and people love to come here. We have guests that come to the hotel and they park their car and they spend the day and they wine taste and they do all those things that that we've been trying to get them to do, and we don't hear the feedback of there's nothing to do in downtown anymore.
Yeah, that's gone, isn't it?
It's gone. We don't hear the empty storefronts, and we don't hear all of those negative comments that we were hearing 4 and 5 years ago, and that it's really exciting because we've worked so hard to get to this point.
We've really hit the tipping point where even though there are storefronts that still need to be occupied and there's still things that need to be done downtown, the bottom line is there's far more to do than there is to pick at that's not done.
Absolutely. Well, and even like with the entertainment venues, you can go to the Opera House, you can go to the Uptown, you can go to Silos, whatever your fancy is, there's always something going on. I don't know if you've been downtown, like I think I was here a couple weeks ago on a Tuesday night at 9:00, middle of the week, decent weather, not great weather. I couldn't find a parking space. I was trying to go into an oak tree to meet a friend, and I could not find a parking space. I had to park 2 blocks away, and I thought, how great is that? I'm not going to complain that I have to walk in. It was packed. It's super exciting.
And the energy is picking up. I walk downtown at just about any night, and there's an energy about it. People are happy to be there. There's so much going on. I just want to read a couple of things that have been said about you, because I think it's important. Sarah Brooks is an outstanding leader who makes everyone around her feel that they are a part of a team and inspires them to attain the business goals, which are always consistent with Napa's community goals. She thinks before speaking. Everyone can rely on her good judgment and transparent approach to problem solving. That was from your boss, Mr. Harry Price.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons why I can align the business goals with the community goals is because he does the same thing, and that's the culture that he's set up the mill to have in all of his projects. Is he's always community first, and so it makes it very easy for me to just align my goals with those, and it's always been about community first and making sure that we're doing what's best for downtown, and then the business follows right behind it. And I wish more people recognize that if you did align yourself with community goals, your business is going to do better.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that you've been involved with, among others, is the Downtown Association. Mm-hmm. That's all about alignment, isn't it?
It is. Well, and it's also kind of, I think as downtown business owners and a lot of small business owners, you get a little bit of the tunnel vision or on the hamster wheel of, trying to operate your business, which is sometimes a challenge. And sometimes you just need that group setting to kind of pull yourself out of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and look at downtown as a whole and brainstorm and try and figure out what can we all do together to make things better and to help these other new businesses that are coming in. We've learned those lessons. We know a lot of the what not to do. And so I view our part of it too as a resource for those businesses to go to. And Craig Smith is great at that. When new businesses come in, they go over to Craig and, he kind of gives them the rundown.
And who, by the way, is also not saving starving puppies.
Yeah, that was what he said, I think.
But also winner of Nonprofit Employee.
I know, I'm so excited. I'm so glad that he's being recognized for that.
So let's talk about that. I mean, taking a step back and getting people to look at the big picture. You and Craig have worked pretty closely. You're working with Clay over at Destination Council. Visit Napa Valley. Talk about kind of the overall vision for where you guys see us going from this point on. A lot of things have changed. TIDs come in. There's a lot of funding available. Kind of give an overview of where you see as a group these things, the downtown going in Napa overall.
Well, I mean, for the city of Napa, things are still positively changing. We, like I said, we still have a lot of new businesses coming in, and so it's really facilitating and helping support to make sure that we are encouraging, business to thrive. And I think from the Napa Valley standpoint, it's great that we have this big pool of money and our budget has gone up, but we have to make sure that we're still maintaining the integrity of the valley and making sure that we still are who we are. We're not bringing these millions of tour buses in just to get people here. We want the right people at the right time. We're spending the right amount of money, and we need to make sure that our service standards stay up. And I think that Visit Napa Valley is very good at recognizing that, we do need those tour buses. We need some of those to come in. But we also need to make sure that we're keeping the high-end traveler and we're keeping the middle-of-the-road traveler. And so, if you look at their marketing programs and what they're doing now, it's very diverse, and they're just doing a great job.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Tell you what, we're here with Sarah Brooks, the general manager at the Napa River Inn and winner of Hospitality and Tourism Award for the Napa Valley Community Awards for 2013. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after these messages. Stay with us. And we're back with Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton, and I'm back with Sarah Brooks, General Manager of the Napa River Inn and winner of the Hospitality and Tourism Award for 2013 for the Napa Valley Community Awards, celebrating community. Sarah, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Even as a young girl, she had that hotel spark to be in the business, and then some. She was a natural leader, a doer, smart as a whip, reliable, and had the knack of putting guests at ease at every turn. What do you attribute kind of your ability to work as well as you do with people? Because it's clear from every piece that I've seen, you really, it's almost like a natural thing for you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it always has been. I mean, I just think that... especially in the hospitality industry, people are here to have a good time. They want to have a good time. They're coming in and they want, all the information, and they're generally here to just, have their vacation or whatever. Even if they're here for business, they want to relax. And so, they're pretty easy and they're easygoing. And yes, you have some people who, maybe have a different personality, but I've always been the kill 'em with kindness, and, it's just always come really easy. I started out, I'm sure it's Lori Gordon, who's probably listening to this, who wrote that.
That's correct.
I started out working for Lori when I think I was 19 as a concierge at Silverado Country Club. So Lori was my first hospitality boss, and Lori is who taught me that. Lori was the one who, she can take any guest situation. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how perfect you are. Something's going to get mixed up at some point, right? You can't be 100% all the time. She can take any situation and turn it around, and that guest will walk away just completely thrilled. It was amazing. I'd never seen anything like it before. And so that's really who I learned from, is, having that high level of service and making sure that you're providing the quality experience that people want or expect when they come to the Napa Valley.
Well, and from my standpoint, what that translates to is you're modeling that for your employees and making that the standard that they live to in a really positive way, not a signs on the wall, do this type of thing, right?
Well, I mean, I think sometimes maybe we don't have enough structure. I try and, provide an environment where people can think for themselves. And, we hire really nice people. That is a requirement. You have to be a genuinely nice, friendly person in order to work at the hotel. And you can teach someone how to work at the front desk. You can teach them how to run a computer. You can teach them how to answer the phones. Those are all, skills that can be taught. You cannot teach someone to be a helpful, nice person. It just does. It's not in some people's
they're just
DNA.
Crabby.
Yeah, and so I think you can tell within the first 5 minutes of meeting someone whether they're someone that guests will respond to. So that's kind of how we look at it. If you want to be a bellman, you need to have that outgoing personality and be able to chat with people and
be able to say hello with a smile on your face.
Yeah, and if they mention that it's their birthday, and you need to think about, oh, hey, I need to send them a card, write them a card, and send them a bottle of wine. Hey, happy birthday! Thanks for celebrating with us, and being able to not have to get that approved by a manager, or not have to go that extra mile and get permission in order to do it. We never point the finger and go, why did you do that? It's always, okay, well, maybe I would have done it this way next time, but I don't care. If you're helping a guest, you do whatever you need to do.
How can we get that attitude and spirit throughout the Napa Valley, which for the most part has it, I think?
Yeah, I think for the most part, really, they do. I mean, if you look at the staff at a lot of the properties around town, they all do it. They all really are. I think it's harder for a bigger property because you have a lot more staff, and sometimes maybe you're run by a corporation that has certain standards that they have to put in place. I'm lucky that we don't have those.
Yeah.
We can, if we decide something's not working tomorrow, we can change it. I don't need to get a permission from anybody. We don't have to have big meetings about it. We just change it. We change it to what works. And so that's not always perfect. We make mistakes, but we're adaptable. And I think that's one thing we're able to capitalize on is as things come up and we see a trend coming, hey, let's see how that works. So I think for the Napa Valley, a lot of people operate like that. And a lot, we have a very, very high level of service here. If you go other places, it's not like us. And that's one of the reasons why people come here.
It's interesting. One of the things that you mentioned was just that part of the leadership needs to be letting your people have some room and not feel like, I mean, you want standards at one level, but at the same time, you've got that balance between standards of behavior and what you expect, and also the freedom to figure it out on their own at the level.
Yeah, and there is always that balance, and that you can never be perfect at it. You try and give staff the ability to make those decisions, but there's a line, right? There's always going to be some kind of line, and it's how do you handle that when that line gets crossed? Do you reprimand, and then maybe they second guess themselves next time? Well, no, that's not efficient, and that's not what you're trying to do. So I think that you have to just try it. Just kind of go with it and make sure that you're trying to do what's in guests' best interest and trying to do it in your staff's best interest, and but it's always a juggle.
We have to wrap up in just a second, but I want to just take a second and talk about Napa River Inn and what's going on there. You got some changes coming. You've seen, I think that there was, 4 years ago, some real questions about how we're going to get through this in a elegant way. And I mean, you've been through quite a few.
I think 4 years ago, everyone was trying to figure out how to get through this in an elegant way.
Absolutely.
I mean, as soon as the economy tanks, the first thing to go down is travel, right? It's the first thing to get cut out of people's budget, either business or leisure. And it's just, you just have to weather the storm. You are going to fluctuate with the economy. And, thankfully, we were able to hang on to our staff and we didn't have to make massive cuts. And, that is, and again, one of the benefits of being small, where we can shuffle jobs around and try and maybe we were outsourcing some things and now we have to pull them in house.
Right.
So, I think that, we weathered that storm and everything's hunky-dory and we're doing great now.
Goes right back to what we were talking about just a minute ago. Yeah. It's about flexibility, isn't it?
It's about flexibility and agility. It's really agility and being able to stay on top of it. I think now for the mill, we've finally come to the point where, our businesses are successful. It's a cool place to go. People love staying at the hotel.
Such a neat place.
Yeah, we have our new sign, which is, have you seen the new sign?
I have not seen that.
We put it was actually Harry Price's idea, but Gordon Huther put the sign together, and it's it's two trusses that were removed from the building. They look like triangles that were removed from the structure of the building, and we put them at the entrance. So you actually drive through in order to get into the mill parking lot now.
Very
cool. Yeah. And Gordon did such a great job. His staff is amazing. And then we have a new spa opening actually May 2nd.
I didn't know that.
It's always been a spa, but previously we've leased it out.
Greenhouse?
It was Greenhouse, and before Greenhouse moved to a larger location. And then
we'll get through these sirens in just a second. There we go.
It's been windy today. And then we had La Pelle, who also moved to a different location over off of Jefferson. So instead of leasing it out this time, the hotel actually took over the operations of that. So we can better integrate the spa and the hotel, because that's a big thing now, wellness. People come here to relax and having control over kind of being able, actually it's funny, when Greenhouse was there, and even to an extent La Pelle, they weren't there as long. We had trouble getting our hotel guests in because they were so successful with locals and with other hotel guests. So we're just trying to make that guest experience and kind of carry that through so we can make sure people are leaving happy.
The full-on experience.
The full-on experience.
Now, my last question in regards to the Napa River Inn, you're adding rooms.
Oh, well, we applied for the entitlements. We started the process with the city, but we actually have to go through the state in order to get that approved.
No kidding.
Where the spa building is, which
Right.
used to be the police station, that actually was a coal gas refinery. So we did an encapsulation project, which is the parking lot. It's a very low level of toxic, but any kind of toxics like that, you actually have to go get it approved. So we knew that would probably be a long process because the state is so backed up. So we don't know if that'll be a year. We don't know if it'll be never. They may just say no, we don't want to deal with it. But eventually, we'd like the ability to do it. We just don't know at what point we would pull the trigger.
I see. Sarah Brooks, General Manager of the Napa River Inn, winner of the Hospitality and Tourism Award for the Napa Valley Community Awards. You are you're a neat woman.
Thanks.
And you're doing neat stuff, and I'm really pleased to have you here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And congratulations.
I always love coming in. Thank you.
And that was Sarah Brooks from the Napa River Inn, winner of the Hospitality and Tourism Award. We want to encourage you to go to the community celebration May 30th at the Napa Valley Marriott Hotel and Spa and really see all the great things that are happening in this community. This is Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton, and I will see you next week. Bottle rock on.